Welcome to the Don't Get Fooled show with Big Ree and NFL Wild Card Weekend. Let's go, Bam.
All right, boys and girls, Wild Card Weekend is here. Cannot wait. It's going to be a juicy weekend coming off me and Big Ree coming off a 5-1 week. Just completely tore it up. The sportsbooks got torn a new one. And we're going to keep that momentum rolling. Cannot wait, Big Ree. There's a lot of good games on the docket. Before we get into the games, we just got done watching the national championship game held here in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium. TCU just got a good old spanking by Georgia, 65-7, Big Ree. Yeah. That was, a doozy of a game. Biggest margin of victory by a team in the college football championships. Just not even a game. I know this is an NFL video, so we'll keep it pretty close. But what are your thoughts, Big Ree, on that ass whooping?
I really didn't watch any of it. Got home at halftime. It was already over by then, so I really didn't watch.
The 38-7.
Yeah, and then it's over then.
Yeah, that was 38-7 at halftime. You already knew the game was done. 65-7 to end the game. Honestly, this is what I expected. I called Georgia to cover, and we both said we liked the over if we were going to take it. Look, you can't, Georgia's another beast, right? These, TCU going up against some of these other teams. I think everybody got fooled by that Michigan. They put up a good amount of points on Michigan, and everybody got fooled. And we didn't get fooled, and I hope the viewers didn't get fooled there, that they weren't going to do that to Georgia. And Georgia really showed TCU who's daddy.
For sure, yeah.
That's really who it is. They really got spanked. And this is going to hurt them in the future, too. There's a reason why these schools are not in the championship playoffs and championship conversation year in, year out. They just cannot compete with these SEC teams. They just can't.
Yeah.
I feel bad for, Alabama. Alabama should have been here. This would have been a way better game than, TCU. So disappointing, but, it was a good end, I guess, for Georgia. Yeah. Back-to-back national championships. Congrats to Georgia, and I'm sure they're going to be the favorite, going into next season.
With Stenson's leaving, that's big time.
That is big, but they'll fill him in. Yeah. I'm honestly not too worried. So that'll be good, but that's kind of that on the college football championships. Let's get into a quick recap, Big Ree. Last week, we'll go down the games quickly. Chiefs beat the Raiders.
As expected.
Nothing to discuss. The Jaguars in Tennessee. Jaguars won 20-16. Big Ree, what was your thoughts on that game?
That was a really good game. Derrick Henry had a big game. Pretty much that pick six won them the game.
The fumble return.
Yeah, fumble return, whichever it was, and that was a close game, closer than I thought.
Yeah. Yeah, Jags, that was my lock of the week. I took Tennessee, and they came through. Honestly, Jags should have lost that game. Clear as day. They got a lucky fumble return. Dobbs, 2 fumbles in that game. Can't win games when you're doing that. The defense played well. Henry played well. He actually played pretty good. That's the sad part about it, is he led them through. But, the fumble return, and that was the difference. But congrats to the Jacksonville Jaguars. They're in the playoffs for the first time, 17, I think?
Yeah.
With the Blake Bortles era. Yeah. But, congrats to them.
And Shahid Khan, shout out to Shahid Khan.
Congrats to the owner of the Jags. Steelers 28-14 versus the Browns. You picked the Steelers.
Yeah, another winning season under Mike Tomlin. 16 straight years, impressive.
That's impressive. Congrats. And before we get into some of the other games real quickly, Big Ree, you came back from your European excursion. And you went 3-0 last week, Big Ree. So shout outs to Big Ree going 3-0. Like, what was it? Like, you just got refreshed on the vacation?
Maybe I'm gonna go on vacation more.
I mean, we might have to send you out, every other week with the DGF budget, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna start going 3-0 when you get back. I'm sending you every other week.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean,
maybe Vegas is the next stop.
Maybe. I mean, wherever you want to go. If you're gonna come back and you're gonna go a clean sweep 3-0, we're sending you on.
Yeah.
And we'll give you the per diem.
Oh, nice.
For sure.
Hell yeah.
So whatever you want, Big Ree. But 3-0, Big Ree is back, refreshed. You must have had a really good time on that trip, Big Ree.
Yeah,
I mean, you definitely something. You're walking a little bit taller now. And so 3-0. So whatever it was, you got to have more of that, Big Ree. We need those three. The viewers need those 3-0 weekends.
Yeah.
But good. Congrats to Big Ree. Seattle beats the Rams 19-16. The Rams gave them all they can handle.
Yeah, but at the end, they don't call him Baker turnover maker for no reason.
Yeah, he
turned it over and threw the game away.
But did you watch that play?
No, I did. I watched the game, but that was a clear interception. That's on Baker. No.
Yeah, but I'm just asking if you watched the game.
Yeah, I watched Red Zone.
Okay, but if you watched that play, the Seattle corner that got the interception, Diggs, that guy, he almost blew it for them. He caught the interception clear as day, but instead of getting the ball and focusing on running upfield, he started taunting the Rams people. The Ram players on the sideline just ran out of bounds on purpose, without knowing that, like, hey, it's a tie game. Let me run upfield. That could have been a big storyline, but they ended up, driving it down and getting the winning field goal. But Quandre Diggs, what a bozo! If you saw, go and watch that play, and that could have really cost them. A lot of people are not talking about that. Falcons beat the Buccaneers. Bills beat Patriots. Not much to discuss. Vikings beat the Bears. Nothing there. Bengals beat the Ravens, nothing interesting. The Texans, 32-31 versus the Colts. These guys got the W and, knocked them out of the number 1 overall pick. Now they have the number 2 overall pick. Yeah. What are your thoughts? The Bears got the number 1 pick.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Bears are going to trade down. I mean, these guys just wanted to give Jeff Saturday that loss. They wanted to beat the Colts, clearly.
I think they played. The players played. They wanted to win.
They wanted to win.
But it cost you the first. I think this could end up really hurting them because you're right. I think the Bears trade down. Yeah. They're not drafting a QB. They got Fields. They're gonna trade down. Someone's gonna trade up to get Bryce Smith from Bryce Young from Alabama, and I think they're gonna end up regretting this win. But yeah, the Dolphins, they beat the Jets 11-6, Big Ree.
This was a big game. I saw they always show it on Red Zone too. Yeah. The last freaking play. How dirty is that?
That safety, which was 9-6, the safety made 11-6. Spread was 3, and some in cases 4.
Yeah.
And so that's one of the bad beats of the century. Oh man, some of those people that had the Jets +4. Oh man, I feel bad for that. That was one of the bad beats of the year. Panthers beat the Saints. Panthers getting some wins to end the season. Broncos got a W against the Chargers, 31-28. Eagles, 22-16. I called this game. I said, the Eagles, they're going to cover, and then there might be a backdoor, so I feel bad for that one. But you know what? The takeaway there was Hurts didn't look like himself, Big Ree.
Yeah, he hasn't played for a while, so just give him the benefit of the doubt.
Got to give him a benefit of the doubt, but you don't have too much time to, recoup here. This is the
he'll have 2 weeks now.
Yeah, but you got one. What do you mean 2 weeks? He didn't look good this week. You think he's going to put it together by next week?
They're not playing this week.
Oh, you think? Oh, 2 more weeks. Okay. Yeah, but you think you're going to give him the BOD? You think he can
give him the BOD?
I don't know. He didn't look good, man. He had 9 carries, 13 yards. He had no touchdowns in the air, 1 interception. I would be a little bit concerned if I'm an Eagles fan. Without Hurts, you're kind of like the Baltimore without Lamar. I don't think you're going to go far. Minshew's a decent backup, but I don't think they can rely on him. Niners, 38-13. These Niner fans, are just really high.
Hold on, we have to talk about the Niners. The Brock is 5-0, undefeated.
Yeah, I'm going to get into that in the game, but the Brock Purdy is playing really well. He's playing really well. He's undefeated, 13 touchdowns, only 4 interceptions, 67% completion rate for Brock Purdy in replace of the injured Garoppolo. But I'm just saying, these Niner fans are so passionate about their team, and these guys are talking. They're talking like Brock Purdy is, Patrick Mahomes. I mean, I feel like every Niner fan just wants to ignore that this guy is a rookie and just be like, oh, he's going to play. They got Brock Purdy. And, this is a whole different ball game when you get to the playoffs. But we're going to get into that, because I got a lot to say when we talk about that game.
Okay.
But, what's your quick take on Brock Purdy?
He's just doing amazing. If Jimmy Garoppolo comes back, he's not going to start. Brock is going to start.
Forget about Jimmy Garoppolo. Like, what's your thought right now? You think he's leading them to the Super Bowl?
I have them coming out of the NFC. Yeah.
Really? Okay. I mean, you were also big on Geno Smith early on in the year, and that guy's pretty doozy after that. The last half season, but you're buying Brock Purdy.
I'm definitely buying Brock Purdy.
Okay, you're buying Brock Purdy.
I said the Niners before the season started.
You did. No, you definitely did say the Niners, 100%. But I think you've been spending a lot of time around some Niner fans, I think, because you are buying the Brock Purdy. And okay, well, you're buying them. Well, I'm going to get into my thoughts when we get into this game. Commanders beat Dallas. That was one of your picks, Commanders, and they came through with the third string quarterback Sam Howell, the rookie out of North Carolina. Looked pretty solid overall in his debut. Dallas, I mean, this is just, you never know with the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, Dak had 2 touchdowns, nothing crazy, but
2 touchdowns to the other team?
One to the other team. He had 1 pick six. So
man.
That's what he's. We'll get into that too when we get into the Cowboys game.
And then the Lions versus Green Bay, 20-16. The Detroit Lions beat the Green Bay Packers. Unfortunately for them, the Rams couldn't come through for them, so they weren't able to make the playoffs. But they did knock Green Bay out of the playoffs. So what is your thoughts, Big Reed? You are a big Packers fan. This was your team. I'm sure you were watching the game, had your popcorn ready. So what's your thoughts? How do you feel about this game?
Yeah, it is what it is. They blew the game. They had the game, and the Lions weren't playing. They had nothing to lose. They went for it on 4th and 2 when it was 16-13, then got a touchdown. A lot of bozo moves. Romeo Doubs missing a wide open catch. Quay Walker pushing the trainer, which costing them half a distance to the goal.
Yep.
Rasul Douglas, I don't know what the hell he was doing on that play, just touching the ball. Just so many, you can blame so many things, but at the end of the day, Aaron Rodgers is to blame for this.
Aaron Rodgers, huh?
Yeah, he couldn't get it done. You when you're the quarterback, you get the fame, you get the blame too. So I think he's done. I mean, every year it comes to this, it looks like, oh, where is he going? Is this the last one? I think this is it, because I think a lot of speculation going on. Jameson Williams wanted his jersey, and he said, I'm going to keep this one.
I saw that, yeah.
So I don't know. If he's gone, good for him. He did a lot good for the Packers. We appreciate it. Thank you. Time to give some love to Jordan.
So you want him to be gone?
Yes, 100%. I want him gone.
You want him gone, and
time to cash in on the picks.
Trade him, get some picks. And
I'll predict it right now. Today's January 9th. He's going to be traded to the Las Vegas Raiders and joining Devontae Adams.
So you're calling it that he's going to go to the Raiders. That's your prediction. Okay. Well, let's get into this game. I mean, they lost 20-16. This is a shot. They played like crap all season. They made a run to end the season. They needed 1 win to make the playoffs, and they could not get it done against the Detroit Lions, who've not had a winning season in I don't know how long. 9 years maybe, 8 years. And I think, the Packers calling this as a loss is an understatement. This is an embarrassment. Pathetic game by the Packers, and all the Packer fans should be embarrassed. I mean, anybody that watched this game, this is one of those games where, and anybody that knows me, I don't say this often, the refs tried to give this win to the Packers. They definitely tried to. NFL wanted the Packers in the playoffs. Tried to give these guys, tried to hand them this victory by the amount of calls and lack of calls in this game was absurd. I watched this entire game from start to finish, and the Packers completely were handed this game. The NFL called this game in, and the Packers couldn't do their job. And the Lions, they had nothing. You touched on this. Lions had nothing to lose. They were free rolling here. And if you saw Dan Campbell when they interviewed him, he was pissed. They said, you have no motivation. You guys can't make the playoffs. What's your motivation to play this game? So they don't make it. We don't want them to make it. And he was trying to dig it to give it to Green Bay, and he did. Dan Campbell, for all the years that Aaron Rodgers talking about he's owning all these teams, he stuck it to him. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is going to start calling Dan Campbell daddy now.
I don't think so.
That's going to be what's happening. Because,
and you're going to say I'm biased about this, but...
You are biased. You are a Packers fan.
Which call? Name 3 calls that the NFL was giving.
Okay, so first of all, that when he shoved the trainer, that was good that they ejected him. But there was another defender that checked the ref too. Right after that, he should have been kicked out, for sure. There was an interception that Aaron Rodgers threw that was called back because of some hands.
I'll walk off set right now. We're gonna pull this game up right on my phone. No. If you legit think that was
a bad call.
No,
that was a bad call.
You're just an idiot.
You just said that you're not biased. You just said you're not biased.
And you're an idiot if you think that.
I mean, I can think whatever I want, but I watched that entire game, and I watched that entire game.
He was clearly holding them.
What do you mean he was no?
Hands to the face.
That was a bad call.
If you don't know hands to the face.
I watched that entire game, and I watched a lot of football, and that was one of at least 6 calls that I saw. At least.
Okay,
that was bad. And they were just bad calls. They were trying to hand the Packers the win, and the Packers didn't do their job.
That was clear hands to the face.
No, it was
clear hands to the face.
I mean, I don't know. You're a Packers fan, so you're clearly gonna say that.
I can pull it up on my phone.
We're shooting, but just it is what it is. Everybody watched that game. Everybody, because I picked Detroit, so I'm sure a lot of the viewers had that game. They were tuned in to that game, and it is what it is. The Packers, obviously, this wasn't their year. For them to even make it into a position where they just needed to win one game was impressive. So they were 300-1 at one point.
Yeah.
And so give them credit that they even got to this role. Nobody expected anything from them. But I'm just saying, I'm not big on these conspiracy theories and things like that. But everybody knows they were trying to hand this game to the Packers.
But you can't, I asked what name another call?
There was multiple calls, and I can't remember all the calls.
Exactly, you can't remember anything.
Because I don't care about this team. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not as passionate as you you remember everything, but I watched that entire game, and I was just like,
but you watched the entire game,
yeah,
but
I watched
can't remember anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying.
Look at this. He watched the entire game, but he can't remember anything.
There was many times where there was no calls on situations when there's literally no calls. Like, that should have been a call, and they didn't call it. And sometimes there are certain calls where it's like, dude, are you kidding me? And it all adds up. It all adds up. And not only me, there was people DMing me throughout the game saying, refs just trying to hand this to them. And when I'm thinking this, I'm not even texting people that. They're texting me.
Because everyone hates the Packers.
Not everybody hates the Packers.
Everyone hates Rodgers.
You don't hate the Packers.
Everyone hates Rodgers.
You love the Packers, and a lot of people love the Packers. But nobody hates Aaron Rodgers either. But at the end of the day, I think they tried to hand them that. But we're not going to, let's kind of move on. Nobody cares about the Packers. They're irrelevant right now. They're not in the playoffs. Nobody cares. Everybody's talking about the Packers trading Aaron Rodgers. I mean, you're a Packers fan and you want to trade. So
time to move on.
You know what I mean? So let's not even waste any more energy on them. Okay, so that's kind of a recap. it's going to be we took a little bit longer on this recap than we planned. So, let's get into some. You want to get into some shout-outs, Big Ree, or what do you want to get into now, Big Ree? Because I don't want you to walk off set. I don't want you to walk off the set.
Shout out to
so at this
Kensington
point,
Crawford.
You can go ahead and lead the rest of the show because I don't want you to walk off. All right, you want to get a shout-out? Let's get a shout-outs to Lenny Perez. Special shout-out here we got to Paul Anderson. Paul Anderson commented, that we killed it this year, and we did better than even the wager talk guys, and wants to thank us for all the money that he made all season. So we appreciate you, Paul, for being part of the DGF family. And so shout out, Paul.
Shout out to Lupaka.
All right, shout out to Sean Brown from Alabama.
Shout out to Joseph Dell.
Joseph Dell, that's a pretty cool name there, Joseph Dell. Okay, here's a shout out to my boy Thurman Green.
Shout out to Brian Chu, says he's in Brazil, visiting his wife's family. I hope you're enjoying Brazil. The chicas, having a good time.
You know what? First of all, Big Reed, that's Brian Chu from Seattle, but you jumped the gun there. You said Brian Chu's wife. He said he's out there visiting his girlfriend. So unless he DM'd you and said this is going to be, he's already going to tie the knot. But if the guy's going to Brazil and staying with the family, could be big news coming. And I hope Brian Chu's family is not listening in. And they're hearing that, like, whether it's the parents or siblings, that they're not hearing from Brian himself that he's getting married. They're hearing from Big Ree and Ace that we're breaking the news that this guy's getting married. They might not even know he's in Brazil, bro. Anyhow, comment below, Brian. Tell us which part of Brazil you're in. I know you said that me and Big Ree are invited out there. We can stay with the family also. So let us know what city you're in. Maybe we'll take a flight out there soon. But yeah, let's get into shout out. And I apologize in advance if we, if I don't pronounce the name correctly. But shout out to Dunesi Santivang from Stockton, California, giving Big Ree travel tips on his next trip. Big Ree, complained about the eye candy and the bird watching in Italy from last trip, and so she commented, said Big Ree needs to visit Thailand or Laos, and giving some travel tips. So Big Ree, shout out to Dunesi. And
I'll let you take the last one.
All right, shout out to our boy John Rooney from Belfast, Ireland. Thank you, mate. Anything else, Big Ree, or you want to get into the docket of games?
Get into the docket.
You
of
sure?
games. Yeah.
Because right now I don't want you to walk off set. If you want to get into some BS talk, we can do that. If you want to get into the game, you sure?
Yeah.
All right. So without further ado, here we go, boys and girls. Aquí vamos, chicos y chicas. Let's go. Game 1. This game is being played on Saturday, January 14th. We got the Seattle Seahawks at the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners are a 10-point favorite here. Seattle 9-8, 4-4 on the road, coming off a 19-16 overtime win versus the Rams. Offense played pretty solid, but they did have 2 turnovers. They're currently on a 2-game winning streak, but they are 3-5 since that 6-3 start. They did lose twice to San Francisco, week 2, 27-7, and week 15, 21-13 in week 15. Kenneth Walker Jr., 3 straight 100 yards. Geno Smith is playing solid, but he has cooled down from the hot start. Only 2 losses by 10 points or more on the season for Seattle. Then we got the 49ers coming off a 38-13 win versus Arizona. They are currently on a 10-game winning streak, and 10 of their 13 wins are by double digits, so they are playing good and beating people up pretty good. We got Brock Purdy playing really good. The last pick in the NFL draft out of Iowa State, 67% completion, 13 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions on the season, 5-0 record. Big Ree, what do you think here?
He's really good. I mean, he's playing great. You got to smell what the Brock is cooking, and he's cooking up touchdowns, bro. That's what's happening. He's pretty damn good.
Okay.
And he's going to lead this Niner team to the damn Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
You heard it here first.
Okay.
Right?
And what are your thoughts here? Niners minus 10?
Niners minus 10. That 10 is a lot. I mean, Seattle, they're not playing great, but they're playing good. You still have Geno Smith, you have Tyler Lockett, and you also have DK Metcalf, Kenneth Walker. But I really like San Francisco's defense, but I think Geno Smith is going to have a good game. And I think that they backdoor on this one. I think 49ers will be up by 14, and they'll backdoor on a touchdown, and the 49ers win by 7. It's going to be a good game for sure.
But you're taking the Niners plus 10 here.
The Seahawks plus 10.
The Seahawks plus 10.
Yes.
Okay. You know what? Here's my thoughts here. You know, I'm very pumped about this game. This is a Saturday game, the 14th.
For the first game.
First game for the wild card weekend. It's going to be a good game. And everybody and their mother, first of all, the 49er fans, so passionate.
Shout out to Yas and Zebo, the true Niner fans.
There's a lot of Niner fans, but they're extremely passionate about their team. And everybody just, the Niners defense, this, that, and the Niners defense is going to carry them. At the end of the day, you still have to score points. You have to put points on the board. And yeah, you can count on the defense to get you defensive touchdowns, but good luck with that. They do got a good defense, but you still need to see more from the offense. And Brock Purdy, he's been playing really good, no doubt about it. There's no question this guy's been playing really good in all his starts. But that's the problem right there, okay? He has been playing really good in every single start that he's had since he came on board. He's not going to keep that up. He is due for a bad game. It's just the reality of it. He's not going to continue this streak.
You don't smell what he's cooking?
No, I do not smell what he's cooking. But I will give him credit. He's playing much better than I expected. But I don't see this continuing, okay? And I think it's going to be a competitive game, much more competitive than anybody thinks.
I agree. That's why
and honestly, I would not be surprised if Seattle wins this game.
So be firm on it. Is Seattle win?
No, listen. Just listen. I would not be surprised if Seattle wins this game. Okay? I would not be surprised if Seattle wins. They are definitely covering the plus 10. I agree with you, Big Ree. Easy. What I'm saying is, in NFL and football, one play here and there can change the game. That's it. One pick six, one fumble recovery, and because this is what I'm predicting. I think this game is going to be 20-14, 20-17 Niners. They win by 3 to 6 points.
Do not take the Seahawks money line.
Listen,
do not get fooled.
And one play here and there, Brock Purdy gets sacked, he fumbles, throws a pick six, can change the game, and that can be the difference. So what I'm saying is, I would definitely sprinkle something on Seattle money line for sure.
No.
For sure here.
Absolutely.
For sure. But I really like Seattle.
I'll give you better odds too and take your money.
Big Ree, if we went through all the the bets that I had right and you had wrong, I would probably own your house, your car, and you might even have to give me your kid, and maybe your future kid. So that's the reality of it, Big Ree. But I'm taking Seattle plus 10, and I would, like I said, one play here and there, I think they can pull the upset here, regardless that it's in San Francisco. All right, so we're in agreement. Seattle plus 10. Game 2. This is also being played on Saturday, January 14th. We got the Los Angeles Chargers at the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is currently a PK.
Wow, it dropped to PK?
It dropped to PK. We got the Los Angeles Chargers 10-7, and they are 5-4 on the road, coming off a 31-28 loss to Denver. They snapped a 4-game winning streak and they lost to Jacksonville 38-10 in Week 3. Currently they have the third-ranked pass game in the league, the Chargers. They do have their losses are to San Francisco and Kansas City. Good teams. Then we got Jacksonville 9-8, 5-3 at home, coming off a 2016 win versus Tennessee to secure that last spot. They didn't play well. They got lucky on that late fumble recovery by Josh Allen, 37-yard touchdown to win the game. But they are on a 5-game winning streak, so they are playing well, 7-2 in their last 9 games. Their best win was a 28-27 win versus Baltimore, but that was on a last-second touchdown with about 14 seconds left. And like I said, they did beat the Chargers 38-10. What's your thought here, Big Ree? It's the PK.
You're going all the way on the recap, so I'll let you go with your pick.
Go ahead, Big Ree. Let's see. What's your thought on this game?
Well, yeah, obviously, Chargers have been looking good. They lost last week, and they were expected to lose because they sat their starters in the second half, and a lot of people are a little upset at Coach Staley for playing Mike Williams and him getting hurt. Luckily, he is going to play. The good news came out today. But at the end of the day, these two teams are pretty equivalent. I don't care about regular season anymore. And the quarterbacks are pretty equivalent. I would say I would give Justin Herbert the slight edge overall right now, career-wise in the NFL. They definitely have the better receivers, and I think the Chargers pull this one out. I think they're the better team slightly, but I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game because the Chargers' pass D is really bad. But I just think this is inexperience. It's both of the quarterbacks' first playoff game, so one's going to win their first playoff game. So at the end of the day, I do think Jacksonville has the better coach. They have home field, but this is pretty much a coin flip. I mean, I went all the way down to PK. It opened at 3, so that's a big red flag right there. So, but I am going to go with the Chargers here.
So you're taking the Chargers PK.
Yeah.
You know what, Big Ree? I'm going to have to agree with you here. Look, I think the Chargers, everyone's going to look back to that 38-10 loss to Jacksonville. That's really their only bad loss on the season, where it's like, damn, what happened there? And that was a bad loss. Look, Jacksonville has been playing very well as of late, but they are susceptible. I mean, look at this last game against Tennessee starting Joshua Dobbs. They should have lost that game. And now you're going up against Joshua Dobbs and you're upgrading to Justin Herbert. I think, look, congrats to Jacksonville for making it in the playoffs.
That's your squad, though. You're going against your squad.
Look, I have a lot of squads, Big Ree. You know that. So I have a lot of squads, and look,
this is one of them. Now they're finally doing good.
But see, here's the thing. Here's the big difference here, Big Ree. I'm not biased with my teams here.
You have to be biased.
I'm not biased. I do the research, and whatever the numbers and analysis tell me is what it is.
You were making fun of the Niner fan last week for taking the under on his team.
Yeah. That's just a whole different thing, Big Ree. It's a whole different thing, Big Ree. Look, that was a joke. Frankie, taking the under on his Niners is a complete joke.
Hey, Frankie.
But look, Jacksonville Jaguars, they had a good season. They were able to win the division with that win. Congrats. I expect them to do something in this game, but I like the Chargers to run away with this one. And I think this is an easy one here. And I'm taking the Chargers PK as well. All right, Game 3. This is being played on Sunday, January 15th. We got the Miami Dolphins at the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are a 10.5-point favorite. Miami 9-8 and 3-6 on the road. Buffalo 13-3, 7-1 at home. Miami coming off an 11-6 win versus the Jets, the bad beat of the century there. Miami 1-3, lost 3, won 5, and then lost 5. And then they got that win to end the season. They lost in Week 15, 32-29, but they did win in Week 3, 21-19 to the Bills. Tua has not been cleared to play. Bridgewater, he's questionable, uncertain here. They do have the 4th-ranked run D in Miami. We got Buffalo coming off a 35-23 win versus New England. They're on a 7-game winning streak. Only 3 losses on the season by a combined 8 points. Josh Allen, almost identical numbers from last year, 4,200 yards, 63% completion, 35 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 762 yards on the ground. Big Ree. Buffalo's a 10.5-point favorite. What do you think?
Yeah, it all matters who's quarterback for the Dolphins. If Skylar Thompson is playing, they're definitely going to get a whooping. They could barely beat the Jets at home. It was pretty much by 3, the last play, 2 points. If that's the case, I mean, they're going to get a whooping. I think the Bills win very easily. And I know this isn't a bold prediction, but calling the Bills to win the Super Bowl right now for DeMar Hamlin, it has like the script just written all on it. But Josh Allen has to step up. He hasn't been playing good lately. Stephon Diggs has been playing well. Gabriel Davis, Dawson Knox look good. And their running game needs to step up too. Dolphins' defense is solid. I mean, I do like the Bills to cover here. The Dolphins, if Skylar Thompson's playing, it's just a joke. I mean, your third string quarterback. I mean, Teddy B is not that much of a downgrade from Tua, so I will give Teddy Bridgewater his credit. I believe Tyreek Hill got hurt. He didn't look 100%.
He did. Yeah, he got tweaked.
I'm gonna swallow the 10.5. I like the Bills here. I think they win by 14 to 17 points.
Okay, so you're taking the Bills minus 10. Yeah, this is, I mean, obviously the Dolphins started off the season high hopes. They looked good. Everyone's like, these guys are legit. They made the trade for Tyreek Hill. The offense looked on fire with Waddle and Tyreek. They got, I think, Jeff Wilson Jr. they traded for, got the running back, and, Tua was looking like, what everybody expected when he came out of Alabama. And then, he got some injuries, and the season has just been up and down. And, my thoughts are that, first of all, a couple of reasons. I don't care who's playing at quarterback on Sunday, whether it's Skylar Thompson, Teddy Bridgewater, or Tua. They're not winning this game. Doesn't matter who's playing. And so I don't like them to win or even cover here. I'm agreeing with you first. Just want to make that clear. I like Buffalo to cover here easily. But another big deal here is the Dolphins coach, Mike McDaniel. And we're going to probably do another video on that topic as well, because I have a lot to say about that. But this guy doesn't know what he's doing at all. Shouldn't be in this role at all. And there is a lot of controversy around this guy if you really follow him. This guy, just like, you got all these young coaches here that everyone's like, oh, these guys are hot, sexy young coaches and da-da-da-da-da. Like, you got Kingsbury that should never have been hired at all. Never have been hired at all. And he got the boot today. They fired him. You got McVay, who's just kind of walking out on the sunset himself, and then you got just a lot of these guys that honestly shouldn't. I'm
going to call that one out. I'm going to interrupt. Sean McVay won a mother effing Super Bowl, so you can't say anything.
Okay. Just because,
He won a Super Bowl. He won the freaking Super Bowl.
So did Doc Rivers, won NBA championship.
Okay, so
is he a great coach too?
Sean McVay took them from shit to playoff team to Super Bowl team.
Okay.
You gotta give credit. We never give credit to the coaches, but we always give blame.
Okay. Are you a coach? What do you mean we always get blame? Are you
as a fan. Fans always give the coach is always the scapegoat. And I remember last season saying, "Oh, Sean McVay doesn't go take this team far. He deserves a lot of blame last season."
Okay, congratulations. He won the Super Bowl. He won the Super Bowl. He won the Super Bowl. Okay. Let's make this clear, Big Ree, and this is where you differentiate the black and white and the gray, okay? Just because somebody wins a Super Bowl doesn't mean they're a good or great coach. Congrats to Sean McVay.
Of course
he's much better than these other guys, for sure, and he's proved that with his record. But does that mean he deserved the job that he got? That's a whole different conversation. So you keep jumping and getting excited about this stuff.
He took them. What were they before Sean McVay came?
Well, who did they add when they got Sean McVay also? Who did they add? No, who did they add after they got Sean McVay? Jalen Ramsey, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp is playing good.
Of course, coaches never get credit, but they're always a scapegoat, as I said.
Okay, so give Cliff Kingsbury credit for having the 4-13 record. Why don't you give him credit?
Always a scapegoat.
Give him credit. He did a great job, didn't he, with Arizona?
Always a scapegoat.
You think he should have been hired?
But never give credit.
Do you think he should have been hired?
Always a scapegoat.
Do you think he should have been hired? Do you think he should have been hired? Do you think Cliff Kingsbury should have been hired? I'm just asking.
No, he shouldn't have been hired. He got the boot from a college job.
Okay.
Sean McVay actually was in the professional sports. He was a Washington assistant coach.
Okay, so was Mike McDaniel. He was an assistant coach.
Yeah, he's going to be a good coach too. You're just a hater.
No, I'm not, because Brian Flores, this guy should have been the coach.
You're mad. I agree he should not have been fired.
Doesn't matter, but it's not. Honestly, my discussion has nothing to do with Brian Flores right now. They have a better record this year with Brian Flores than Mike. But Mike McDaniel should never be this coach. Period. Go look at that guy's resume, because I know you have no idea about his resume. Exactly. So go look at his resume.
I know what Sean McVay did for the Rams.
Okay, that's fair. You can, everybody sees you're very passionate about certain topics. We know that. You're walking off set on Aaron Rodgers, so we get it. But look, that's for another discussion. But Mike McDaniels, I think this guy shouldn't be a coach in the NFL. He can be an assistant coach or coordinator, but there's a reason why you win 5 games, you lose 5 games, you win 3, you lose 3. Things like that. And this guy shouldn't have been there. I don't like Miami at all. I think Buffalo wins easily, regardless of Bridgewater, Tua, whoever plays. I like Buffalo. I'm taking Buffalo minus 10.5. All right. Game 4, Sunday, January 15th. We got the New York Giants at the Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are a 3-point favorite here. The Giants 9-7-1, 4-4 on the road, coming off a 22-16 loss to Philadelphia. 2-5-1 since the 7-2 start. That seems a decade ago. They did lose 27-24 in Week 16 to Minnesota. They actually outgained Minnesota by 100 yards in that game. Minnesota Vikings 13-4, 8-1 at home, coming off a 29-13 win versus Chicago. They have 4 losses on the season: 24-7 to Philly, 40-3 to Dallas, 34-23 to Detroit, and 41-17 to your Green Bay Packers, Big Ree. Dalvin Cook not playing well as of late. They have the number 31st ranked pass defense, number 6th ranked pass offense, Big Ree. Minnesota's a 3-point favorite. What do you think?
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. Obviously, everyone here likes the Vikings. They're the better offense with Adam Thielen, Justin Jefferson, TJ Hawkinson, Kirk Cousins. Their defense is really bad, but the Giants have just fallen off a cliff. They started the season out good, but fallen off a cliff, and I think the Vikings win big here. I think they win by 10. I think this is the easiest one of the week. I like the Vikings to cover very easily. Everyone, don't get fooled by the Giants. They have fallen off, and they're not going to go anywhere. I think the Vikings win big.
Okay, so you're going big on the Vikings. Okay, look, my thoughts here. Giants, they did start off 7-2. They've played, pretty bad in the last 8 games. Minnesota is kind of, 13-4. I think the record is definitely very deceiving. This is not a traditional 13-win team. There's certain teams. Look at you take the Lions, right? The Lions are, they ended the season 9-8. 5 of their 8 losses were by 4 points or under. 5 of their 8 losses. And so they could easily, even if you give them 2 or 3 of that, that's a 11-12 win team, right? Same here with Minnesota. They have a lot of close wins. These guys could easily be 8-9, 9-8. They got a nice pass offense, but Kirk Cousins doesn't seem to show up when he needs to. Their pass defense is horrible, second in the league. And the Giants, honestly, they're not playing good as of late. They're not. But I think this is the best matchup that they could have gotten. The best matchup. And I think they're going to give Minnesota a lot of problems in this game. And I would not be surprised if they win this game either. Would not be surprised. But that +3 is a really juicy line. And look, Daniel Jones, I think he wants to perform. So I like Saquon to have a good game. And I mean, I like the Giants +3 here, Big Ree. So we're going to disagree for the first time today. And so I'm taking the Giants +3. All right, Game 5, Sunday, January 15th. We got the Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are a 6.5-point favorite. Baltimore 10-7, 5-4 on the road, coming off a 27-16 loss to Cincinnati. You know, they're 3-4 since their 7-3 start, Big Ree, and they have only scored over 17 once in the last 8 games. They did beat Cincinnati 19-17 in Week 5. Lamar Jackson status, unsure, uncertain, not really saying much. The Bengals coming off a 27-16 win versus Baltimore, as I just said. They're on an 8-game winning streak. 12-2 since the 0-2 start. Number 5 ranked offense, Big Ree, pass offense. What do you think in this game?
Yeah, Joe Burrow has looked really good. One of the top 5 QBs in the league. T. Higgins, you got Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, Hayden Hutchinson. And this offense is very lethal. But Baltimore, obviously the only thing that matters right now is if Lamar is going to play or not. I think that would move the spread 3 points if he does play. So I still got Cincinnati covering the 6.5. Whether Lamar plays or not, I think Cincinnati cruises on this one. Joe Burrow wants revenge after last season. And I'm going to swallow the 6.5, take it very easily. I think they cover again.
All right, so you're taking the Bengals -6.5. Look, should be set up for a good game if Lamar plays. I don't know if he's going to play or not, but they have shown that their defense is still solid. You know, their defense is carrying the team. Unfortunately, they don't have a Brock Purdy from like the Niners that can carry like a solid Brock Purdy, but they have a good defense. It's carrying the team. Well, I hope Lamar plays, but it's kind of like Hurts. Everyone's like, "Oh, is Hurts going to play? He played last week and didn't look the same." I don't know what to expect from Lamar, even if he does play. I think if Lamar plays, maybe they can keep this interesting, but this line should be more closer to 10 or 11. The Bengals.
Yeah.
It's only 6.5 because he's questionable. I'm gonna agree with you, Big Ree, for the 4th time out of 5 games here. But my thoughts are, if I would buy this down to 6, buy the half point, get it at 6, because this could just be a 2 field goal game.
I always buy the half point, no matter what.
Okay, so I would buy the half point here, -6. But I agree with you. I like them to win easily, but if you just want to be safe, buy that half point. And so I agree, Big Ree, we're agreeing again. I'm taking Cincinnati -6. All right, last game on the docket, Monday night game, January 16th. We got the Dallas Cowboys at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Cowboys are a 3-point favorite here. Cowboys 12-5. You know what, Big Ree? Can you confirm the Cowboys are the favorite here in this game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not Tampa Bay, right?
No.
Cowboys are 3-point favorite. Cowboys 12-5, 4-4 on the road. Coming off a 26-6 loss to Washington. You picked that game last week, Big Ree, and cashed in. Cowboys 6-2 over their last 8 games. They did lose 19-3 in Week 1 to Tampa Bay. High-powered offense, averaging 28 points per game for Dallas. Then we got the Buccaneers, 8-9, 5-4 at home, coming off a 30-17 loss to Atlanta. They did rest the starters, so it wasn't a big loss. They have not won more than 2 straight games on the season. Tom Brady, 66% completion, 4,600 yards, 25 touchdowns, 9 interceptions only. But here's the thing, 8 interceptions in the last 8 games, 1 interception in the first 9. And they do have the 8th ranked pass defense. What's your thought here, Big Ree?
Yeah, I mean, Dak has pretty much been playing really bad, as I mentioned earlier. And Dallas's defense has fallen off, but I don't know what to expect. You can never count out Brady. Brady still won his division. Even though he played bad, I talked smack about him all season, which I acknowledge. Congrats on making the playoffs. I don't know. This one is a coin flip. I mean, you can never buy in on Dallas. You can never count out Brady. But this is a tough one. I don't want this, but I think the Cowboys cover and win by a touchdown.
Woo-hoo! So you're taking the Cowboys -3, Big Reed.
Yeah. This is a win-win for me. I hate both teams, so.
So one of them is going to be knocked out. Yeah, but it's kind of a lose-lose because one of the teams you hate is moving on.
I get to hedge it.
That's true. So do you have any Cowboy fans? Like friends?
Yeah, Bruce. We have Bruce. Good luck, Bruce.
I apologize that I jumped the gun. I asked you if you have any Cowboy friends, Cowboy fans that are friends. And first I want to ask you do have friends, right?
Yeah.
Okay, just to confirm. But you do have friends, so you do have some Cowboy fans.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough then. If what happens when they win? Are you going to send them a congrats text?
Yeah. Congratulations on your first playoff win in a decade.
Okay, all right. Look, the Cowboys. Dak is. There's no debate that Dak has been playing bad as of late. A lot of interceptions, interception machine. Cowboys, hot and cold team. Sometimes they look like a contender. Sometimes they look like they don't even belong in the playoffs. Tampa Bay has honestly looked like crap all year. They won the division at 8-9. That's just a crappy division. Brady has played pretty solid, but not great. Look, I'm going to compare this to your team, the Packers, Big Ree. Everyone thought they're going to get it together. Then everyone thought the Packers are going to win and cover again to the playoffs. And now it's you just need Tampa Bay. They made the playoffs, and Brady's going to be Brady. And look, I think that ship has sailed. I think I think he played like crap, and he made it in. Unlike Aaron Rodgers, and that kind of shows. Look, Brady made it into the playoffs. Rodgers didn't make it into the playoffs. They are both always, the names are together. But I'm going to agree with you again, Big Ree. Look, this is unprecedented that we agreed on 5 of the 6 games. I think Cowboys, they're going to get it together here. I don't think Tampa Bay plays well. And I like the Cowboys as well. On the road, I'm taking the Cowboys as well, Big Ree. And so I like Dallas -3. Okay, Big Ree, before we sign off, anything you want, any last words before we sign off?
Do not take Seattle money line. Do not save your money.
All the viewers and subscribers that are listening today, if Seattle pulls this upset off and they beat the 49ers, are you gonna put your Cash App tag out there so they can request that you pay them the money they lost on that money line?
No.
No? Because you're telling them not to take it. So if they end up losing at least 5-1 on their money, are you going to pay them?
Well, you're telling them.
Hey, don't worry. Just hit DMing me, and I will, let you guys know Big Ree's info, and you guys can, request your paychecks from Big Ree. But I'm just saying, I think they're on upset alert, and I told you guys why. And so I can't wait for the weekend. Nothing like wild card weekend. It's going to be a good weekend, and so. That's it, then let's sign off, Big Ree.
All right, peace out, guys.